Hello and welcome to this fourth Pyland video. In this one I'll be showing you how to make your level a bit more complete, and we'll add an end goal to the level. But first I'll show you how you can trigger events when you talk to things in the game, like an NPC. So we do this by assigning the character an action that is triggered when you talk to it. So this is npc_1 dot player_action, and then we just set this to whatever lambda function we want, and then that will be called when you press enter on the NPC. So let's do a lambda function which just prints some dialogue. So type lambda, and it's important to know this player_action function requires a player object as its argument. So we'll type player_object. This is because when it executes this, it wants to know the player that's interacting with it. So you don't actually have to specify which player it is. That will be specified when whichever player is active presses enter on them. So all we need to do is to say that there will be this player object argument in the lambda function. And then we'll just do engine show dialog. I wish we didn't have any crocodiles in Pyland. So the NPC should say this when you talk to him. Now, if you wanted him to do more things when you talk to him, in this lambda function, you do engine.run callback list sequence, and then put the sequence that you want it to execute. And that way, when you talk to the NPC, a whole list of things will happen. So if I just run this, so here it is after the start, we can try and talk to this NPC. And we'll see, here he says the dialogue now. I wish we didn't have any crocodiles in Pyland. Great. Okay, so now I'll show you how you can make it so the crocodile swims back and forth. So the simple goal of the level is to avoid the crocodile. So to do this, we just do refer to the object, the crocodile, which is croc1, and then we call move_horizontal. So this will trigger the crocodile to swim back and forth horizontally when we run the level. And when you stand next to them, it'll say it's got you and it's level over, and it will just replay the level that it's currently playing. And let's just add a few more crocodiles to the level to make it a bit more challenging. So we just go back to the tiled map, and then we can just duplicate this crocodile. So let's make 5 of them. So I just need to give all of these crocodiles unique names. So I'll just number them all. Okay, and now if I save this and go back to the script, what we can do is we can use the power of Python lists just to add all the objects to a list. So we'll just create a list called crocs, and this will include every crocodile we have on the map. So croc1, croc2, etc. And now using a Python for loop, we can just iterate through all of these objects really easily and just make them all move back and forth horizontally. We just do for croc in crocs, and we just call croc.moveHorizontal. So this goes through all the different objects and it calls this method on them. And the last part is just adding the endpoint to the level. So to do this, we actually add a object to the map. So if we go to tiled, we place an object where we want the tile trigger to be. This is the tile trigger that when you stand on it, it will do something. So in this case, we want it to go on to the next level. So let's place down a tile trigger. We'll just use this sprite for the sake of it. Hold control down. Let's place the endpoint here. And then to name this, let's just look in the objects folder. It's objects, and then it's just simply tile trigger. So we just refer to it as tile_trigger, and then let's call this object end trigger. And just for the purposes of showing the player where the endpoint is, I'll just add this tile to the foreground layer so that when they play the level, they can see where the endpoint is, because tile triggers aren't otherwise seen. So let's save this. And then in our level script, we can just refer to this tile trigger we've put down. So it's end_trigger. And then we just set a lambda function for what happens when the player stands on it. So .player walked on. And this lambda function has to again take a player object as an argument. So when they step on it, we want to change onto the next level. So we use the engine.changeMap command. And then we put the name of the level relative to the levels folder. So in this case, I'll call the level tutorial level 2. So let's save this script and let's actually create this level so it will load the next level. So we just go to the levels folder. Here we've got our tutorial level. So let's just duplicate this and call this the next level. And we can actually create it properly in the next tutorial. Okay, so let's now run our level and see how it works. So here it is. You can see the crocodiles are all swimming back and forth as they're supposed to be doing. And we can see this tile down here that we placed on the foreground layer. If we step on it and activate the tile trigger, it now loads tutorial level 2, which currently looks identical to the first one, but it has loaded the level nonetheless. So that's the end of this tutorial. I hope again it's been helpful for you. Make sure to let us know if you have any problems or if you are getting through these really well and you enjoy them. If you're not following us on Twitter, then you're probably bored of me asking, so I won't ask again. And with that, I say goodbye.